Let me go over the Omega level threat, because they finally announced it, and I'm not happy with it. I'm glad it wasn't delayed, but maybe it should have been, because after all this time, they just straight up just didn't listen to what we wanted. So let me read off some of this. So Omega level threat missions require full 4-player strike teams at power level 145 plus. The game's maximum power level of 150 is recommended. So right off the bat, last year they said with the Omega level threats, you would have to be 150 to play it. So right off the bat, they lowered the required difficulty to play the Omega level threats. So not necessarily great, but they do have some. We'll get into the mods later. Okay, so here's the part that really got on my nerves. Omega level threats reward the highest end gear for success once per week per account. We're currently exploring allowing the weekly rewards to be given out once per week per character in the near future. This to me is unacceptable. This is unacceptable. For literally almost a year, we've been telling them what we want for these Omega level threats. This is a live service looter. This is a looter. It needs in-game content. In-game content, which are dungeon like missions like this. These aren't raids, they're going away from that. Dungeon like stuff. The hallmark of stuff like this in games like this are it requires at least 4 play. It requires a full team. It's challenging, and it rewards great gear, and it's farmable. It gives you a reason to keep playing, particularly with your friends, because you can get more and more loot, and the idea is to use that to build out your characters and make them more powerful. So for example, in Outriders, the equivalent to Omega level threats in Outriders are the expeditions. The expeditions, you unlock them after you finish the game. They are timed, and they escalate in difficulty, and they reward you with the highest level loot in the game. But you're not guaranteed the loot. Your chances of getting the highest end loot is based on the difficulty you play on. The higher the difficulty, the higher the percentage chance that you'll get the highest possible loot in the game. And you can play it whenever you want. There's no limit. You can play every single week, every day, regardless, however many characters you want, and the rewards at the end are the same. But for some reason, Crystal Dynamics is constantly time gating content for no logical reason. This is the time. It was bad enough they were time gating the weekly Mega Hive, which after all the loot nerfs they added was basically the only reliable way to get exotics every week. It's bad enough that was once per week per account. Now we're finally getting the Omega level threat, the in-game content we've been asking for 10 months, and it's still once per week per character. So it's basically a hyped up Mega Hive. That's essentially what it is. It's basically a hyped up Mega Hive. Once again, once per week per character, per account. And they're talking about they're exploring allowing you to do it per character. Why is that something you have to explore? Why would that not already be in the game? Why would that not come with the content? Why do you need to explore having it per character? And why is it once per week? Why can't you just farm it? That's the entire point of dungeon like content like this. It's supposed to be a thing that you play. It's finally supposed to be something challenging that you could play over and over again. I'll show you how bad I'll show you how bad the loot is too. Look, that's not even the only thing. Here are the rewards. So they're time gating it, so it's only once per week per account. That means if you if you play a store and you complete it, that's it. You can't switch to another character. That's it. You would have to create an entirely new account. That's all until next week. It's just like the Mega Hive. So for waiting a week to play it and get the rewards, here's what you get. You get the Omega Hive exclusive exotics. You get two. You get a melee / range piece or and a defense / heroic piece, and you get one cosmic theme minor artifact, which sounds similar to what you get from the DNA chests when you do the vault runs. You also get 25 polychloron and 50 upgrade modules. That's it. If you finish it after you do your once per week per account completion, if you play it again, you get one ISO 8 as a completion reward and 10 upgrade modules. So it's basically like, it's actually worth the rewards for completing it after you do it once per week are worse than an Elite Hive. So for example, if I play the Elite Hive, the Evil Reborn in the Snowy Tundra, if I complete that, I believe I get 10 or 11 upgrade modules and a guaranteed legendary heroic piece for my character, and I can do it for any character as many times as I want. So if I wanted to do upgrade modules and get some legendary set gear for my character, for any character, I can just keep playing the Evil Reborn Elite Heroic Hive however many times I want per day. But for the Omega level threat, the end game, the highest possible competition, the hardest mission, the thing that's been hyped up, we've been waiting for 10 months. If you complete it, you get 10 upgrade modules and a ISO 8. That's ridiculous. Why are they so stingy with gear? For people that are new, the original Mega Hive before they changed it last year, if you finished the Mega Hive, you would get a mountain of rewards. You wouldn't just get the 2 guaranteed exotics, you would get like 10 legendaries on top of all of the other stuff, the upgrade modules, the units, patterns, which you could use and take to the helicarrier to get free cosmetics. That's what you got from doing the Mega Hive last year, mind you, just for the Mega Hive. But for the Omega level threat, we've been waiting 10 months for, you get 2 exotics, a minor artifact, 25 polychloron, and 50 upgrade modules. And after that, you get an ISO 8 and 10 upgrade modules. That's completely ridiculous. Why would you time gate this? I could almost understand if the rewards were just amazing and they just didn't want to have you get too much stuff or whatever. I can almost understand that logic. It would be wrong, but I can almost understand it. But you're not even getting crazy rewards for finishing this thing, and they're time gating it for no reason. For literally no reason. There's no reason. It's not like they didn't know. We've been telling them this for 10 months. We've been saying this is a looter. This is what you're supposed to have in a looter for end game content. It's farmable. It's difficult. It rewards you with a bunch of stuff. Ghost of Tsushima got this right on their first attempt. Ghost of Tsushima, single player open world game, drops a new game, a free game mode that's a looter multiplayer game, and they have that. Not only did they nail the loot system, but they nailed the raids. If you play a raid in Ghost of Tsushima, there are three of them, and you didn't have to wait a year for it. You got 3 raids in Ghost of Tsushima, and you get, every time you play it, you get the same rewards. You get an increased chance at legendaries, and you get just a stack of gear for completion. And you can do it as many times as you want. And it gives you a reason to keep playing over and over again, because you get so many resources and you get a higher chance of the best gear, which you can use to build up your characters and make them stronger. For this, they are not only giving you lackluster rewards, they're making you wait a week every time just to get them. And they're punished, and they're basically telling you with the completion rewards to not even bother to do it again. There's literally no reason to play this more than once per week. We've been waiting 10 months. So to put this in perspective, we've been waiting 10 months for end game content for this game, and we're finally getting it, because the problem has been, yeah, we get some new heroes every so often, but once you get the new heroes, there's nothing to do. You're still playing the same stuff over and over again. It's not rewarding. There's really no way to get to farm really great gear. So you basically play your dailies and you leave. So the solution to that was supposed to be the Omega level threats. It's hot, it's challenging. It requires teamwork, so you can play with friends over and over again as long as you want, and you get great rewards. But now because they're time gating it again, now you're basically exactly where we were before. You have no reason to play the game Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then on Thursday you come in, you do the Mega Hive, which is now 4 steps, 4 gauntlets instead of 8. You do the Omega level threat with your people. You get your 2 exotics, you get your 50 polychlorine, you get your 25 poly, your 50 upgrade modules, and you peace out for the rest of the week until next Thursday. There's no reason to play. This is the most basic thing they had to get right. Not time gated. That's the most basic thing they needed to do to not screw this up. Don't time gate it. Allow you to do it with each of your characters, so that people had a reason to play every day. They could spend hours every day with their friends farming the Omega level threat over and over again, trying to complete their exotic set, trying to upgrade their character. That's all. They didn't even have to guarantee exotics. They could. This is a simple fix. This is a very easy fix. But you have we could just leave these as the completion rewards for the week. Okay, weekly completion rewards, 2 Omega level exotic pieces, 50 polychlorine, whatever. Subsequent completion rewards, 25 upgrade modules, and an increased percentage at exotics based on the difficulty. So if you're playing on challenge 4, say 50% chance that you get an exotic upon completion. You get 25 upgrade modules for finishing. That's all they had to do. And you can play it. And you could play it per character. You could just play it over and over again. Or they could even lower it. They could make it 30 or 40% for every completion. And you could just play it just so you can play it as many times as you want with any character. Doesn't matter. That's all they had to do. And this would have been a dub. But they couldn't even do that. They couldn't even do the bare minimum. Don't time gate it. That's all they had to do, and this would have been a dub. That's all they had to do, and it had to be a conscious effort, because there's no reason that they shouldn't have had this, because according to them, it was finished. The only thing they were doing all this time was tuning the difficulty of the super adaptoid so it wasn't too hard. That's their own words. That's the only thing they've been doing all this time. After they got the bugs worked out, they said they were just tuning the super adaptoid because they didn't want it to be too easy. And we're assuming it took this long to tune it because they added the multiple hero thing, which was not the original plan, but they had to do something when they had the delayed patrol mode. So they've been working on the tuning. So they could have fixed this. They could have not time gated this. This was a conscious effort on their part to time gate it. And the only consolation is, well, we're thinking about sometime soon in the near future, maybe, of allowing you to do it for each character, but still once per week. Why was that not included? That's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. Now there's no reason to play. So come June 20, and hilariously, the ridiculous typo. So it looks like it's coming out June. It's in fact July. So next Thursday, the Omega level threat is dropping. You're gonna play the Omega level threat. You're gonna get these rewards when you finish it. Then you're gonna do the Mega Hive, and you're exactly back to where you were before the Omega level threat came out, with nothing to do. Waiting till next Thursday, waiting for War for Wakanda. So when War for Wakanda drops, to put this in perspective, the one thing we were saying this game needs when War for Wakanda drops is in-game content, stuff for people to do once the story is over. So we were thinking, okay, so before we were thinking, okay, when War for Wakanda comes out, potentially we're going to have patrol mode and we're going to have 2 Omega level threats. So we have 3 potential game modes that you can play with your friends, get high level gear, and just farm over and over again to keep you in the game for a few hours, so that when you finish the story, you don't just leave the game, because that was the problem with Hawkeye, and that was the problem with Kate. The DLCs were fine, but when you finish the story, there was nothing to do except the same old stuff you've been doing for months before. So people would come, they would play the DLC, they would finish it, and then they would just leave the game. And we were hoping with War for Wakanda, okay, this is their chance. Add all this new stuff you can do once the story is over. And now you're in the exact same place you were before. So when War for Wakanda drops, there will be no patrol mode. They delayed that until after War for Wakanda. There's going to be one OLT because they had to delay cloning labs again until after War for Wakanda. And the raid that was the OLT that was supposed to come with War for Wakanda isn't done yet, so that's waiting. So that we're going to have to wait for that. So when War for Wakanda drops, you're going to have the family reunion OLT, but you're only going to be able to play it and get the rewards on Thursday. So you're going to get War for Wakanda. You're going to do the story. Once the story is done, you do the Mega Hive, you do the OLT, you leave, and there's nothing left to do. You can at that point you can do the same stuff that you were doing before to farm and grind up your Black Panther. You can the same exact stuff. The Day of Remains, opening chests in the snowy tundra and reloading checkpoint, or you just leave the game because there's nothing to do. So after 10 months, nothing has changed. 10 months, nothing. War for Wakanda, L already. Straight up. The only thing they could do now to make War for Wakanda a dub is if they release it with a new game mode that's actually good, that isn't time gated, and if they give us a significant upgrade to the gear. And what by that I mean crafting, modding, something where we have a reason to grind gear and we can customize it. If they don't have those two things, War for Wakanda is another L. Even if Black Panther plays amazing, the story is awesome, the game is in almost the exact same place. The only thing they will have added, if they don't do those things, is another Mega Hive on Thursday. That's all. And they didn't have to. That's what's so ridiculous. This was so easy. And they really could not have afforded to mess this up because, like I said, they had to delay everything else. They had to delay cloning labs. They had to delay patrol mode until after War for Wakanda. So they really had to just not mess up this OLT. And they did it in the stupidest possible way because for whatever reason, they are stingy with gear and they are obsessed with time gating content for no reason. Do they not understand what kind of game this is? It is a live service looter. It's in a multiplayer game. You're supposed to give your players a reason to play multiplayer repeatedly. not just hop into the game once per week and then leave immediately because there's nothing else to do. This doesn't make any sense. I don't understand why. It's not like people aren't telling them these things. The subreddit, the Twitter, the Discord, YouTube, every place where people discuss this game, the Twitch on their streams, every single place they talk about this game, people are constantly telling them, this is what we want, this is what we need, this is how it will be better. And they just ignore us every time, and it's always to the detriment of the game. And I don't understand why won't they just listen to the players? This doesn't make any sense.